Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. In this video, I am going to point out some common mistakes that people keep making on FC24. There tend to be common mistakes people make every single year on FIFA. So for you guys, I'm here to help you. We're going to have two parts to this video. It's going to be one video, but it's going to be like one half to it. Another half. The first half, we're going to look outside of gameplay, look at some of the just general club management mistakes people tend to make. Then the second half, we'll look at some clips and show some common gameplay mistakes that people keep making. If you like these type of videos, please do consider subscribing. Every single day, putting multiple videos out to try and help you guys get better at this game. So, the first one we'll look in terms of the actual team thing. This is a very basic one, but a lot of people don't even have their players in the best positions of chemistry. A lot of people watching this video probably think, come on, Zell. But honestly, I coach people. A lot of people watching this video might not admit it, but they don't pick their team properly, or they don't go for a formation that could get the team in full chem. Check all the formations out. There's even websites that you can put the players in that you've got that will give you the best formation for chem. If you can fit icons in, that will help a lot with chemistry, but I understand not everyone can. A mistake a lot of people have, they don't have good super subs. I don't really use these players as super subs in general. That was more just in Weekend League that I had those as potential options. But having a few super subs is important, especially in Weekend League where games can go to extra time. I tend to sub my players on around 70 minutes. Having someone like Diaby on off the bench is really good. Are you sick to death of getting out-teamed on FC24? Want that God squad you've always been dreaming of? Check out iggm.com today. The best and most reliable place to get coins for your ultimate team. Use the link in the description and code ZEL at checkout for a 5% discount. Check out iggm.com today. In Weekend League, extra time, if you have really quick players, that is pretty crazy what they can do. You can get some very easy goals. I lost one game to someone a few Weekend Leagues ago who subbed a loan on Rion. Obviously, you're not going to have Henri on the bench generally other than the loans. But he had a loan on Henri, and he got 3 goals where he just got the ball in the halfway line, just ran past me, and I just couldn't catch him. Obviously, not everyone's got that, but having top-tier players or top pacey players on the bench can really make a big difference. Not a lot of people do for some reason and don't even use the subs. A big one I see in terms of tactics is not using multiple game plans. I don't know why people don't do this. I have game plans set up for every situation again. I'm seeing out a game and I'm really struggling to defend. I can go to the 4-2-3-1. My default tactic I start is my defensive one. My attacking one that I can switch to if I don't want to go all out, because sometimes people have taken the mick of it, they're keeping the ball, playing very frustrated, but it's too early to go constant pressure because your stamina will be screwed. So I go to a more aggressive one, or if I'm like a goal down, then all that tack to get back into a game. You might lose the game by more goals, but I can promise you, having game plans where you go all out attack, you will win some games that you would have lost otherwise. So those are some of the pretty common mistakes in terms of the pure team building here. Honestly, one that I would say is do as well, set your roles up. Having your roles set already, sometimes in game people forget to change their set piece taker. I see a lot of people in game, and it does this, it's annoying whenever you change a player, it changes the set piece takers. A lot of people have to quickly change the set piece taker every time. You don't want to forget that, it's a very easy thing to fix. SBCs. Now, we get a lot of fodder on this game. Lots of fodder. EA giving us a lot of SBCs. I think there's some pretty good content out there right now. A lot aren't good value. Are they worth doing? Really assess if an SBC is worth doing. This Stoichkov, really good card, and I would like to have him. I would like to try Stoichkov out. If he had a 4-star weak foot, honestly, I'd be pretty tempted to do this SBC. He'd be like Figo. I mean, this card basically is Figo, but better. But Figo has the 4-star weak foot. That makes this Stoichkov worse, in my opinion. If Stoichkov had a 4-star weak foot, I'd prefer him. And it's not much more than Figo cost. But it's an untradeable card worth 800k. Are you willing to spend 800k of assets on a card that you're never going to be able to sell back? So think very carefully about SBCs. I see a lot of people do SBCs, or I play a lot of... I've already played people in Weekend League who like 8-9 of their players are untradeable. And a lot of them are SBCs. Sure, it's nice in the short term, but long term, if you put liquid coins into players, you are going to be left with not a lot of growth for your team in the future. I pretty much only put untradables into SBCs. If fodder's really high, I tend to sell the players. So I'm not saying you can't ever put coins into an SBC if it's really good. I've done SBCs. I've got Kudus, I've got Rice. I did the Blanc SBC. I did these without spending any coins. Sure, I used assets that I could have used elsewhere, but I just picked SBCs that I thought were really good value. I maybe slightly regret doing Rice, but he is pretty good. But Blanc, one of the best cards in the game, in my opinion, for his position. Doing SBCs that suit you guys and that long-term benefit your club is really important for club management. Another mistake that I see a lot of people make, wasting evolutions, just trying to progress evolution on cards they're never going to use. Evolution's actually pretty good now with the Centurion one. I just need to get, what is it? 28 more assists. Don't know why it's 30. It should have been like 20 at max. But I need 28 more assists. Then my Lorente is going to be an 86. Bruiser, pace, and passing is going to be really, really nice. And then that'll be a really nice one too. Not even that hard to get that one either, to be honest. But make sure evolutions, you pick ones that are actually going to benefit your team. Unless you are just doing it for fun to get a player that you really want to use. That's completely fair. And then the last thing I would say, a lot of people, I don't know why, but they just don't really do this properly. What's the finishing one I've got? Oh, nice premium gold players pack. Didn't realise I'd scored my 50 volley. I only have a few more finishing ones to do now, don't I? Power and chip, probably those squad battles, to be fair. Do objectives. You can honestly, a lot of objectives do quite easily by playing a couple of squad battle games or just putting one more player in your team and subbing them off. Is an 869 Pereira a great card? Honestly, he's actually a pretty good centre-back. Would I be using him? Probably not. In a cheap team, you might like him. Very good links. Strong link to Nuno Mendes. I'm never going to use this card, but it's an 86. 86 is worth 10, 11k. That's not a lot, but I've done every objective that's come out very easily. I've not had to buy players for it. It's very easy to slot them in. Having 10 to 15k constantly on different players like that, I've probably had 100 to 200k worth of objectives and milestone players that have gone into SBCs. I see a lot of people complain saying they're not getting fodder anywhere. Sure, these aren't top high rated fodder, but a free 86 worth 10k, that makes a big difference when you do all of them, and they're very easy to do. Let's get into some gameplay ones and break down some of the gameplay tips that I think could really help you guys out. One of the easiest ways I think I can show you guys some of the mistakes people make by showing you clips of goals I've scored off of I clip a lot of good PlayStation goals, and I can tell you mistakes people might be making in attack and defence at the same time. So here, I beat the press. Nice play by me here. Go forward, and then here. The mistake my opponent makes straight away here is he doesn't switch and close down Raul quick enough. If somebody has decent long shots, shooting stats, and they have finesse or trivela, you cannot give them time and space on the edge of the box at all. Gold finesse and high shooting, against anyone good, they're going to score a lot of goals if you don't close it down. Raul got the gold finesse, high shooting. It's a great finesse by me. We'll watch that back. The mistake I see a lot of people make as well, who have these type players, they don't go for them. Go for these finesse and trailers outside the box. They're OP. You can see there I've scored from like 25 yards out. You have to press that. A mistake a lot of people make is letting people get long shots off. I rarely ever concede a long shot. The only time I tend to really concede long shots are where I get very unlucky and I tackle someone, it lands at the foot and they just shoot straight away. Not a lot you can do about that. You can move your keeper as well. Generally, no one hits a long shot like that, Trivela or finesse near post. It's nearly always a cross goal. So when you get opportunity, shoot a cross goal if you've got a player who can do it. And if you're defended, close it down. That is a big mistake you need to avoid. This clip here, I'm going to show you something that I see that happens far too often. So we'll just let the clip play out and watch what happens. So he's trying to press me a bit and I start using controlled sprint with goal technical. I am not sure what his keeper's doing there. The only thing I can really think is it's 45th minute. Now that is one thing that a mistake a lot of people do make. They don't use the 45th minute, 90th minute kickoffs properly. If you don't know what I'm on about, 45th, 50th minute, the last minute of a half, it tends to be that the defence quite often just switches off and it's very, very easy to score goals compared to normal. That's what I think's happened with the keeper here. The mistake, though, the main one that my opponent's making here, is that he just puts no pressure on the ball. I definitely don't want you to start diving in and just press like a madman and leave gaps. But here, he's tried to cover this, fair enough. But once I get going here for the cutback, it's very hard to defend it if you don't put pressure on quick. And once I'm going there, I could go either way. But obviously he doesn't switch. And then from there, I don't have a cutback. His team had just stood still. But he then should have been second man pressing and switching someone to tackle me. So many people rely on the AI to defend for them. And when stuff like this happens here, where his defence just switch off, you really see people who AI defend. Don't get me wrong, I use my AI a lot. There is almost a skill in using your AI, but I use second man press to make my AI do more. Don't be stupidly passive in the box. If you defend like this, you are going to concede a lot of silly goals. Okay, here we are with pretty much the opposite kind of what I was saying a bit in the last one. A big mistake a lot of people make is diving in. Do not dive in. Watch this goal here. It's pretty good by me, but I get a little bit lucky at times. But here, like, I don't know what he's doing here. Like, if you watch it again, at this point, there's no danger. And he dives in with him. He's pulled Darmian out. He's probably second man pressing them with, I think it's Varane. And Raul, you can see making the run. He leaves a massive gap. Ridiculous. Dive in again, and then eventually I find the through ball. I get pretty lucky here, but Raul probably should score that. But that's the type of goal a lot of people concede. And they go, oh, I've just been screwed by the game. It's not fair. It's BS. Like, that was ridiculous. You deserve to concede when you defend like that. Diving in like that, pulling your defence apart, it is a sure recipe for conceding stupid goals. The opponent I was playing here, he is an Elite Division player. This is an Elite Division rivals. You cannot defend like this. You will concede a lot of silly goals. Here, I'm going to show something I see regularly. You cannot afford to do this on FC 24. You need to move your keeper. Watch this here. I don't end up scoring, but when I switch to this player here, he probably should score. It's very unlucky and it hits his player on the line and gets cleared. However, the amount of goals that I have scored, let's go look at my player, my centre-backs even. So if you look at my centre-backs, Van Dijk is the one that I switched on these. He has 70 goals in 179 games. Bear in mind, it's probably more like 160 to 165 with the amount of people quitting at 0-0. He's not far off a goal every 2 games. I score very regularly off corners. A centre-back shouldn't have a goal every 2 games. But on this game, corners are very easy. If people don't move the keepers to at least give them a chance to deal with the corners, you are going to concede a lot of silly goals. I could probably make a video of 100 plus different mistakes to avoid in this game. But hopefully, the ones I've given you have helped. I will do a part 2 if there's demand for it. Appreciate you guys watching this video as always. Keep it spicy. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.